𝙒𝙗𝙧𝙯 Media Network.
Bringing to you the most relevant content across all platforms.
Business, legal, politics, health, lifestyle, and entertainment.
Your source for all the news and updates in the greater Houston community, from Texas and all over the world.
Get informed and empowered with
𝙒𝙗 Media Network.
The following program is produced by 𝙒𝙗 Media Network. The views and opinions expressed in this program are solely those of the individuals appearing on the show and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 𝙒𝙗 Media Network, its affiliates, sponsors, or partners. The content provided in this program is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. 𝙒𝙗 Media Network does not guarantee the accuracy, completeness, or timeliness of the information.
Question, what's the craziest thing I've done for love? I think tonight we are actually talking about a very, very interesting topic. Alright, good evening po mga viewers ng Be Bold, Why Not? Welcome to another episode of our show, and I'm so excited to welcome everybody in Texas, in the world, and those are watching from the Philippines. It would be a very, very special night, and you are watching us live on Facebook, YouTube, and stream.lawin.live. But if you miss our show, our live show, you can actually listen to our podcast. We have Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Podchaser, Spotify, and a lot of other platforms. So, well, it's Monday, April 15th, and it's tax day. So I hope that all our viewers have already done their taxes. It's your last day to file, and meet the deadline, although you can extend, but of course, it's better if you file in the, right day. Anyhow, here at Be Bold, Why Not? We exist because we want to inspire, motivate, and elevate your lives. And we hope that you are watching us. And I would love to encourage our viewers to watch and participate. Give comments, shout outs, or if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment in our Facebook and YouTube, because we always have a game in the show that the more comments you have, the higher chances of you winning some special prize. So let's show them the mechanics of the game.
How to join the game. 1. Watch the live show and listen to the conversation.
2. Participate and share your experiences on the topic during the live show. 3. Type your thoughts or experience via comment section. 4. All participants are eligible to win a prize. 5. The more you comment, the greater your chances of winning. 6. We will use Wheel of Names to determine the lucky winner.
All right, there you go. And we already have a viewer from the Philippines. Mayra Perez Gonzalez, good morning from Quezon City, Philippines, and happy Monday. Good morning, Mayra. She is very, very loyal. She's one of our regulars who watch our show. And before we get our guest in, I just want to say, Christian, wherever you are, we're missing you. I know it's not as fun if you're not here, but I'm going to try my best. But also, I just want to share to our viewers how grateful I am today. I think it's a good way to start the show when we give a little bit of gratitude, as they say, an attitude of gratitude, right? So I'm so grateful, and I really am so thankful for today. It's not just a tax day for everybody, but it's a day for me to start another chapter of my life. So that's why I'm sharing my story, because that's what I'm here for. Yes, I just started a new job, and I'm so blessed. I'm so grateful. And it's just amazing. It's just amazing how life works and how God works in our lives. You know, when it's his time, nothing can stop you. If you have an opportunity out there, I mean, it will come in God's time, and it came for me today. So I'm just so excited. I just want to share that to everybody. And of course, tonight would not be complete, or we'll not have a great show if we don't have a guest. And our guest tonight, oh my God, this gentleman, he's a very, very accomplished person. His, well, I'm going to spill just a little bit. Okay, he's an engineer, a chemical engineer by profession, but also living his passion. Yes, everybody in this world, at some point in our lives, we would realize that we are passionate about something, and we just have to pursue and commit to that passion and whatever calling you have. And that's what he's going to share to us tonight. I have no other words to say, but this person is living his dream and he's helping people live their dreams. So we are so happy to have in the show no other than Mr. Danny Aguilar. Can we have him, please? Danny, there you are. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, MJ. Thank you, the Lawan Media Network, for having me in your show tonight. Magandang umaga dyan sa Pilipinas. Naimbag nga bigat yu amin na po dito Pangasinan and Ilocos region and Baguio and all over the world.
Yes, yes. Welcome to our show, Danny. I know you are a busy person, but we really appreciate you sharing your time and sharing your talent, sharing your vision, sharing your ideas and your thoughts to inspire our viewers tonight. But let me start off with, can you give us a little background where you came from, the Philippines? I know you just spoke Ilocano and I'm Ilocano too, but let our viewers know where you came from, the Philippines. How did you come to the United States? And just a little bit of background, like your family, wife and kids, just some personal stuff that we want to learn about you.
Yeah, most certainly. I'm very proud. I actually grew up in a very, very small town, very small barrio in Umingan, Pangasinan. It's a barrio called Don Montano. And I was born there, and I went to high school, Catholic school, and then went to college in Baguio. I went to St. Louis University. I majored in chemical engineering, and
Mhm.
came to the United States almost about 30 years ago. I just graduated college. And it was interesting how I came here. We were actually sponsored by a social service organization, and we came here to render community service as part of our church. And then I
Mhm.
met my wife through the church. She is from Japan, and we've been together for 30 years. We're
Mhm.
based in we're based in Dallas. We have 3 kids. I have 2 girls who are at the University of Texas. Alyssa, she just graduated last year in video game design. I'm very
Mhm.
proud of her. Kaylee will be graduating next month at the University of Texas, majoring in psychology. She wanted to be a child psychiatrist. And we have Daniel, who is graduating in middle school. So
Oh.
we're yes, and he's going to a high school soon. And at present, I have my own consulting business, and I advise Fortune 500 companies in the areas of engineering, compliance, quality, process improvement, and regulatory. So I work with companies that makes medical devices and pharmaceutical products. And then on the side, I founded Carpe Diem Pictures. It's a independent film company that produce movies that would promote the Philippines and help make movies that are uplifting and positive, and also very, very a good message out there.
Wow, wow, that's a lot. But I have a question. Did you always dream of becoming an engineer growing up?
That's an interesting question because when we were young, when we were in high school, we kind of contemplate what we wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I wanted to go to seminary, believe it or not.
Wow. Okay.
Wanted to be a priest, and And then I was kind of discouraged by one of my brothers. And so the second option was to go into agricultural engineering.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also wanted to get into broadcast journalism. I always wanted to get into becoming a reporter. I love documentary, but that didn't happen. So, but I wanted to be a doctor.
Okay. Wow.
I thought maybe the closest is to get into a chemical engineering, and that's where I kind of followed through that. You know, when you go to engineering school at that time, back in the 80s, you know, it's either you want to be a electrical engineer or electronics communications engineer, ECE. Those are like the biggest options. But, you know, I decided to take up chemical engineering because not so many people go there, especially men. So I was like, oh, maybe the competition is not so much. I could get a job right away. Although it was a really difficult program, I have to tell you, I have to struggle so much to be able to get through the program, but you know, I did it.
Wow. Because I know chemistry is not an easy subject, right? It's
Uh,
actually one of the hardest.
yeah,
So, yeah. And so before you came to the US, did you work as a chemical engineer in the Philippines?
I just graduated and I actually got accepted
Oh.
to work for as a chemist for one of the soda company, soft drinks company. And I also like the environment, so I took minors in environmental engineering, but also with wastewater treatment. And then I didn't really go through the job yet, and then I came to America right away. So it's kind of like an interesting, very interesting process. It's something that you don't expect, but you know, I always tell people my life is like the life of Jonah in the Bible, right? You know, he was
Mm-hmm.
swallowed by the whale, and then, you know, he didn't really want to do one thing, but then the whale kind of brought him to Nineveh to be able to preach the gospel. So I feel like something has taken out of me from that perspective. Like, okay, I wanted to pursue a career in here and that, and then suddenly something didn't plan. Then I came to America. So it's kind of really interesting process.
So when you came to the US, so what you said you were like sponsored like as a by the church?
Yeah. So we were actually volunteers to work for the social service organizations. So we worked for United Way, build house for the, build houses for the poor and things like that. One of my
Mm-hmm.
first assignment was actually in a Jewish hospital in Miami. I was a volunteer there, and
Mm-hmm.
that really set a tone a lot for being a volunteer. And I actually did that for a long time, for about 7 years, because I wanted to go to seminary, but I feel like that didn't fulfill my
Mm-hmm.
dream. So when I joined this organization, I feel like I was living that dream. So it was very natural, and it was a
Mm-hmm.
good way to find my career. I don't really know what to do with a career in chemical engineering, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So I feel like I
Wow.
want something to make the world better. So that's where I kind of worked through that aspect.
Wow, that's an amazing story. So you actually like it's like you gave your destiny to God. It's like just bring me wherever you need me. Something
Yeah,
like that.
and I think one thing that I just learned, like in life, it has to be fluid. You have to
Mm-hmm.
go because what you resist persists, and you have to go with the flow. It's really when you commit everything and say trust the Lord to bring you where you at, because He knows best. And if you resist, it kind of like persists, so you're not gonna get there. So everything that happens in my life is really everything is. I really felt like it's something that really wasn't planned, but I feel like if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Even my wife I met at the church, it's something that our leader actually matched us. She was in
Mm-hmm.
nursing school in Japan, I was in engineering school in the Philippines. So we were matched together with a picture. And and then we joined this international interracial marriage with 30,000 people in Seoul, Korea. So,
Uh-huh.
it's an interesting process.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow,
we've
that's
been
really
together, yeah, we've been together for actually 32 years. So we have three kids.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, it seems like you have a really, really interesting life story. But before we continue chatting, we need to go for a short break. So we'll be back in a minute.
In a world filled with fleeting moments, there's beauty waiting to be captured. My name is Christian, and I specialize in immortalizing your most precious memories, from elegant weddings to vibrant events and timeless portraits. I'm here to make every moment unforgettable. Let me tell your story through the lens. Contact me today and let's create magic together.
All right, we're back. And again, for our viewers, please participate. If you have any comments, if you have any questions, let us know. We'd love to read them for you. Or if you have questions, we'll try to answer them as best as we can. But we just started, and see how inspiring and how beautiful Danny's story is. That's the beauty of having a really, our story in life, can help or can inspire other people. It's like I've been reading books too, and one of these the authors that I'm trying to really learn from is 𝙒𝙧𝙧𝙯. And you know what he says is like, our life or our stories, our struggles qualify us to help the person that we used to be. And it seems like Danny's story has been a really very interesting one. It seems like he's been blessed so much. But we also want to ask, with that transition from the Philippines to the United States and your early times here in the US, were there any challenges that you experienced during those times?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you come in here, I actually, of all the founding fathers, I have to tell you this: Benjamin Franklin is the only one that I have a really good affiliation with him. Not because my dad's name is Benjamin, but because when I came to America, I only have $100 in my pocket. And to me, that's Benjamin Franklin. When I see $100, I see hope, I see goals, I see a future. So to
Mhm.
me, that's very, very precious. So when I came here, I was volunteer, and then I finished the volunteer. I applied for a graduate school program. So, coming from the Philippines and you apply for an engineering program, and frankly, my GPA when I was in college was really not good. I was a C student. It's not because I'm stupid, I'm dumb, but because that wasn't my priority. At that time, my priority was really volunteerism and really trying to make the world better. So they put me on probationary for 1 semester because when they evaluated me, they think that I couldn't make it. And that's
Mhm.
true. The first class, I was out of school for 7 years, and then suddenly I have to go to graduate school in engineering program. So the first class, when the professor presented the curriculum, I came up to him and said, I don't think I can pass your class. There's no way. So he said,
Mhm.
you know what? It's just meant to intimidate you. Just keep going. So I actually finished my master's degree in 1 year, and I earned a summa cum laude. So that's kind of like an
Wow.
interesting situation where really in college I was just barely passing. But I felt like when you're on your own, because I don't have anybody to rely on. I only have myself. So there's really no way but you know to really help yourself. So I was very fortunate that I was able to. I think to me, when I put myself into it, there's really, I don't see myself as a very smart person, although I graduated one of the top in high school, but I see myself more of a diligent person. Like, to
Mhm.
that's more than being smart in many ways. And yeah, I was able to finish that, and then finally put myself out there after 7 years of graduating from college, just starting over. And it was very intimidating. It was even to look for a job as a chemist. It was hard because I have a master's degree, but I don't have any experience. So a lot of
Mhm.
companies reject me, and then finally they hired me as a technician for entry level, and then I was able to work there for 1 year, and then I was able to apply to transition for being a manager. And then my last job with a Fortune 500 company, it took me so long to be able to apply because I didn't go to Ivy League or anything like that. But I think that's persistence. Diligence is really, to me, there's no secret formula. I keep telling people it's all about the hard work and
Mhm.
persistence, and really the honesty and the integrity. and just do, do what's normal. And a lot of people, it's hard to do that. But I think one thing that set me apart is I'm a very visionary. I look at
Mhm.
my short term and a long term. Where do I see myself 10 years from now and 20 years from now? So when I was starting, I was able to interview some people who are already doing consulting. I know I wanted to do their job, so I told them,
Mhm.
"How can I steal your job?" And they said, "Well, Danny, just do your 3 E's: your education, experience, and expertise." So I
Mhm.
focus on that, and then here I am, 20 years later. I'm doing what they're doing, and I'm really happy.
Wow. Yeah, perseverance, persistence, resilience, you know, those things, like any challenges that we go through, that's how we build our character. That's how we build our integrity. That's how we build resilience and perseverance and all that. And so look at you now. I mean, you have your own consulting company, and it's just so amazing. But before we ask the next question, or I ask you another question, let's another viewer from the Philippines, Jojo Canaria. Hi, watching from Philippines. Shout out from Toledo family in Bicol. Wow, Camarines Norte. Thank you so much, Jojo, for watching tonight. Yeah, I hope you're enjoying the show. And for all our viewers, don't be shy. Just do your shout outs. Or if you have any questions for me or Danny, please feel free to do so. Okay. So, you have all these years of experience in engineering, and now you're a consultant of some of the Fortune 500 or 100 companies in the United States. I know you also have a different passion other than you're a good chemist, you're great in other technical stuff. Let's talk about your other passion, like the filmmaking and the producing and all that. How did you start doing this? Or growing up, did you have this deep, desire of actually going into the industry?
Yeah, so growing up, I always wanted to be a broadcast journalist, and that didn't happen. So again, everything transpired like in a very organic way. So I have two master's degrees,
Mm-hmm.
and I was actually contemplating to go and get a PhD. So I applied for a PhD program. I got accepted, but then my wife said, "Are you crazy? It's hard for you and the kids. It's harder than me. What are you gonna do with a PhD?" And so I kind of like thought about it. She said, "Why don't you go and get a hobby?" And so she bought me a golf club, and then I started playing golf. And I told her, this is not for me. So this was in my mid 40s, and I told her I want to go back to school again. But then maybe it's a good time to pursue my passion in filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about making movies, but I know two things. I know how to volunteer and I know how to network. I'm really good at that. So I started volunteering in the local community, filmmaking community in Dallas for about 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I never get paid. I was a production assistant, craft services, chopping watermelon or fruits in the morning at 3 in the morning. Never get paid. I just want to be on set to learn the craft. And then I started really meeting a lot of people. And also, I'm very structured. So I also attended a filmmaking class, and then directing with classes with Sundance. So that's where it gets started. My first movie is actually behind me, is the Camino Catharsis. It's a documentary.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything, but filmmaking is one of those disciplines where you learn by doing. So I bought a camera. I asked my friend to teach me how to use it, and then I went to Spain, where I documented the journey of people who walk for 500 miles. And I did that with another friend, and the camera guy, I'm the interviewer, I am the sound guy, and I learned so much in that. If you haven't seen, it's in YouTube right now. It's a short
Mm-hmm.
film, it's about 15 minutes, but I felt like I went to film school for 4 years. And so I submitted that. It got into one of the largest Christian festivals, and I said, you know what, I think I got a good shot. I think this
Mm-hmm.
is rocket science. So I
Wow.
started writing and then started doing short films. And then that's when I founded Carpe Pictures, because I have a passion for storytelling. And film or motion picture is one of those avenues where really, when people see a movie, all their senses are activated and they cry, they can connect, they get inspired. And that's when I founded Carpe Diem. And 6 years later, I made 10 movies.
Wow, wow, that's amazing. Another shout out from the Philippines. We have Mark Carlo de Seco. Good evening, Texas. Watching from Pangasinan. See, Kabsat from Pangasinan. We have a viewer from Pangasinan. Thank you so much, Mark, for watching us tonight. So tell us about the name of your company or your film producing LLC, which is Carpe Diem. Why
Yes.
that
Yeah.
name? Why that
Yeah.
name?
In pictures, it's translate. It's a Latin word for seize the day. Um, to me, at that time, I was kind of finding my purpose in life, which is in Japanese, they call it ikigai. It's your purpose for living, which means what you're good at. And basically, how can you share that to the world? And how can you make money out of it? But one of my favorite movies is it's a movie by Robin Williams. And in there is Dead Poet Society, by the way. There is a scene where they talk about Carpe Diem. And I researched through this, and I feel like this kind of resonates to what I'm really going through at that time. And really, what can I do? I think everybody has a talent.
Mm-hmm.
We need to find that gift and how we can share that to the world. And what's best is to make that as a profession and make money out of it is kind of a bonus. So that's where it kind of started. So yes, I
Yeah,
wanted like a really like something exotic. So Carpe Diem to be remembered, when people see it.
that's right. And it's just the name itself is like Carpe Diem, seize the day. Just with that, I mean, it already speaks volume of how you want to really inspire and motivate people. So yeah, we have some slides here. Can we show more of this one? Oh my God, this was really nice. Can you, there you go, Broken Chords. Wow. These are some of the films that Danny had already produced. Yeah. So can you talk about these films?
Yeah. So Take Me to Banawe is one of those where really I'm very proud of. I didn't make my first feature film not until I was 51 years old. So my advice is it's never too late. There's no such thing as too late. So, to me, you failed along the way, but that's okay because you learn from failure. You don't learn from success. And I had so many of those. You can only imagine how difficult it is to get into the entertainment world, let alone, I have a full-time job. So Take Me to Banawe is a romantic comedy about an American engineer who found love through the dating app. And he went to Baguio to meet with Grace, who is actually from Banawe. So I have so much affiliation with the Cordillera region because I lived there for 7 years. And to me, when people think about the Philippines, they always think about the beautiful beach, white sand. And I'm like, wait a minute, there are other parts of the country that are far beautiful that also, meant to be promoted. So that's where this movie came about.
Yeah, wow. Okay, we have more viewers. Okay, Tita Delia Ligot, watching from Posorubio, Pangasinan. A blessed morning, Texas. Yes. And of course, we have a comment from Myra Perez Gonzalez. Wow, Engineer Aguilar shows an exceptional talent out of his chemical engineering journey. Really, it is what your heart's desire that will make you feel accomplished. And for him, it's the filmmaking. Yes. Shout out to my Mapua batchmate all over the world. Wow. Thank you, Myra. Yeah. So before we continue, let's go for another short break.
Another one Till Death Do Us Part. What happens to a will after a divorce in Texas?
Oh.
From Brian Wong. Brian Wong has a
Brian
lot
Wong,
of
ikaw
fans.
you have a lot of friends. But that's an interesting question. Till death do us.
All right, we're back. And yes, for our viewers, if you want to learn anything about legal, then tune in every last Wednesday of the month with attorney Eileen 𝙒𝙧𝙩 and Christian Toledo. So to continue, so yeah, Take Me to Banawe. Actually, we were part, right? We were part of the private screening of Take Me to Banawe when it came, you all came to Houston. And it was beautiful story. And the star, I mean, she's like a beauty queen in the Philippines. And she's very nice young lady. I wish I were young like her. And I'm just kidding. But yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful movie. And I think they can stream it already, right, Danny? What streaming
It's
platform?
available at the Filipino channel at the TFC, and
Mhm.
also at the website at takemetobanawi.film.com, and then it will essentially go out to different platforms. I just signed an agreement with another network to be able to have them put it out there. So it's exciting, and this is just the beginning. We're actually working on the sequel.
Mhm.
A lot of people kind of asking why you leave us hanging.
Mhm.
It's not fair, so we didn't plan to do that. So it's exciting. I'm just very overwhelmed with the support of our kababayan. Actually, that wasn't in my thinking when we made the movie, so I felt like it actually resonated to a lot of people.
Wow. And you showed the movie privately in like how many states and
Yeah,
theaters?
we actually went to 14 screenings, and then the last one in Manila, we had it at Shangri-La.
Mhm.
um, i'm I'm still very overwhelmed. I still don't know what to do because I never thought that the reception was this really, really overwhelming in many, many ways. So that really prompted me to make more projects. So I really feel like I found my calling. It took me a while to get here, but again, it's never too late.
Yes, yes. And there are more movies. Can we show some of them? So Danny can give us a little bit of a background
Before
about this.
This is very beautiful one. It's not out yet. It's a music drama. It's almost like A Star Is Born. It's about a father and a son. This is part of a vignette that we're putting together. There's 5 short films, and one of them is Broken Chords. Bo Davidson is actually a very good actor. He's also nominated for Emmy. He's a really good musician. The same thing with John Gibson. He's from Oklahoma, and
Mhm.
Stephanie Parker is local here in Dallas. So this very beautiful movie that we would like people to see soon, because I'm so proud of this.
Wow. So look out for that. And what about this one? The Quiet
Quiet
Man.
Man
Wow.
is a family drama. It's
Mhm.
about a father and a son, and played by Corey Case and Carl Bailey. We shot this in Dallas, actually. And
Mhm.
this is part of the vignettes for the movie called Dad, Father, Papa. Fatherhood has many names. So hopefully we will release all this during Father's Day, hopefully next year. And yeah, this is a beautiful family drama that's inspired by a true event.
Wow. So you have a lot of movies, Danny. How did you do that? You said you just started filming all this like when you were 51, is that right? Or
So Carpe Diem is 6 years already. So we made
okay,
about
okay.
movies. So the Granny Shack is a documentary, actually. This is interesting because I met a guy. So I travel a lot for work. So the way I get all my inspiration is when I'm outside and talking to people. I was sitting with a guy in the airplane from Dallas to Hartford, Connecticut, and we started chatting, and I'm like, wow, this is an interesting story. I took my laptop, I make some notes. When we landed 3 hours later, I have all my notes. I said, would you mind if I explore this through a documentary? He said, yes. A week later, we were filming. So it's about a guy who bought a property in Texas, and
Mhm.
his grandma gave him a lot of money when she passed away, and she adores the grandma. To honor the grandma, he bought a ranch, and he built a house and then a shack, and he called it a granny shack. And then
Wow.
he welcomed everybody to go there, to stay there as long as they want. The only requirement is before you leave, you have to leave a picture of your grandma.
Wow. Oh my goodness. This is
uh, Pictures of grandma of people who stayed there. And so we did a documentary. Some people stay there because they're going through some divorce, they just lost their job, many
Mhm.
reasons. So I thought, wow, this is a very beautiful story.
Yeah. Is it out already? I mean, the
No, that one's not out yet.
Okay, wow. You have a lot of movies that people can look forward to. But we have a question before we talk about this next one. NJ Bakani says, what's your favorite movie or documentary you created?
That I made, I think the document, the first one, because it's very memorable, the Camino Catharsis.
Mm-hmm.
It's up in YouTube already. Because when I was doing that, my mom died.
Oh.
So I was very devastated that I don't know what to do with the movie. I actually
Mm-hmm.
didn't watch this for 1 year because I don't know. I was grieving. I felt
Mm-hmm.
like, but because of what happened, it actually made the story more. It enhanced the storytelling. So I
Mm-hmm.
felt like my mom made my first movie. That was my,
Wow.
because that never a plan. And she actually waited for me. It's so hard to say goodbye on a video call to a person that you love dearly. So when I said you can rest now, she died just after I finished the tour, that the 500 miles. So the following day, I have to fly to the Philippines to attend her funeral. But it's all in the documented in the documentary. It's out in YouTube. It's free for you guys to see it.
Wow. Oh my God. That is so heart
Yeah.
touching, like, very emotional. So, and you write your own stories, right? All these movies?
Yeah, so I come up with concepts, but also I co-write with some talented writers in
Mhm.
Philip here in the US. So this one is the Camino Catharsis. That's the one that's the document, and my first ever. I don't know what to do because I just started filmmaking, but like I said, I think my mother really helped me make this story better. I didn't
Wow.
say because he died that it made it better, but I felt like it added so much flavor to the story. And I think a lot of people can relate because here life is a journey, and really
Yes.
the journey is the reward. And that's where I kind of putting together. That time there's no carpe diem yet,
Mm-hmm.
um, and as you can see here, it just say carpe diem pictures present because I just started carpe diem pictures during this time. That was back in
Wow.
2015.
That is so amazing. And there's more. I think can we show the other films that we haven't talked about? So, I think oh,
Yeah, so
wow, this one.
The Rain Will Come is a beautiful story about a guy who just lost his job. Eric Hansen is such a talented actor based in here in Dallas. He actually appeared in so many big production movies already. I was the producer for this one. It's actually my first ever narrative film that I produced. At that time, I wasn't directing it because I was just learning. But this is a very heartwarming story about a dad who just lost his job and doesn't know what to do, and he has to move to Iowa. And it's not out yet, but this is also very heartwarming because that's when people ask me what the kind of movie you want to make are the kind of movie I want to see. So I want people to see a movie that is transformative, that is very inspirational and very, very positive. So that's really my advocacy.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So, how does it feel to be living your dream? Like, I mean, it's so overwhelmed just listening to you and, just watching all these films that you already have created or learning about them. It's like, I'm up here. I'm like, how do you feel about all this? And how do you find time? Because you have a job, right? You still work and then you have these films. How do you find time
Well,
to make all these films?
the good news is I have a wife who's very supportive.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I think, like I said, I'm very lucky that I love both of my job, the technical job and the passion job. Like I said, I think everybody has a gift.
Mm-hmm.
And Oprah said, that your job is to find that calling and gift the earlier possible. And then I explored this concept, Japanese concept called ikigai. It's actually it's that gives a person a sense of purpose. That's what wake you up in the morning. It's a reason for living. It's about doing what you love, which is your passion, doing what you're good at, which is your vocation, and doing what the world needs, which is your mission, and then essentially doing what you can be rewarded or paid for, which is your profession. So
Wow.
if you have that, I think to me every day is a gift because it keeps you excited. I have so many stories that I wanted to tell MJ, and I feel
Mhm.
like, people ask me, you're busy. Actually not, because I love what I do. I don't think I'm busy. I think to me it's about balance. It's about really finding, once you really find where you fit in terms of what you can give back, really that's the most important thing, because you don't want to go back and regret that you should have done it, right? And
Mhm.
part of that is taking risks, right? I took risks when I left my job in the corporate world. My wife doesn't work. I have 3 kids, but you know what? Really regret, you don't want to do that when you're in your deathbed. That's like the worst time. And while you still have time and you wanted to pursue what you wanted to pursue that makes you happy, I think to me that's the most fulfilling thing in life.
And that's true. I believe in that too, 100%. Because I think I can relate with everything that you're saying. Because, yeah, everybody of us, we have stories that we can share that can impact other people. And then we have gifts that are waiting to be unleashed because you don't know with that gift that you have who is going to be blessed, because if and whose life is going to be changed. So if you love to sing, then show the world. I mean, sing and just be yourself, be your authentic self. Because I think that if we're not living our dreams, it's like we're not being true to ourselves, because we know that there's something that we are created for, bigger than ourselves. I hear a lot of this podcast too, that there is a version of you that's waiting to come out.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's a
To
version of.
me, it didn't come out until I was in my mid 40s.
Mhm,
And who would have thought, right? I would
mhm.
just be happy working, in a corporate world with 2 master's degrees. I was actually being molded to be an executive. And I
Mhm.
feel like something was missing in my life, that I feel like that's not just what life is all about. I think
Mhm.
it's really learning a balance and really having the support of your family. I am just so happy that I have a wife who's so supportive in everything that I wanted to pursue and do. She's always behind me and my kids. And I think,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, and it matters a lot because, and as you said, if you are passionate about doing these things, I mean, you're enjoying it, you're happy, and you're fulfilled, and it doesn't feel like a job,
No.
right? If you're doing your passion, it's not a job. You're just enjoying it. And imagine how many people are being, inspired and motivated. We're here to disrupt, distract, and inspire and motivate people. Because I know there are people that they're not like they feel like they have like, but they're bound by past negative experiences, that they cannot get over whatever they've been through in life, and it's stopping them from pursuing to be the better version of themselves. And that's why we are in this show. I mean, our show, as it says, be bold, why not, right? Elevate your story. Every single one of us, we can be a catalyst for positive change in this world. We can inspire people to live their dream, just simply living and sharing their stories because of you. So yeah, Danny, you are truly an inspiration. But before we continue, because we have a lot more to talk about, because Danny he has a lot of projects coming up too. Well, let's go for another short break. you go. We're back. We're back. And we have another comment from Mr. Jim Howell. Good for you, Danny. Finding your passion and pursuing it takes guts as well. That's true. You got to follow your gut, right? We hear that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we have so many excuses. I mean, I could have made excuses like, oh, I'm minority, I could never make it. I mean, I never used the M word to get ahead in even in the corporate world because I believe in talent and hard work.
Mhm.
Like I said, I'm probably not the most smart engineers out there. I was competing with 2000, and it's just really the diligence. One of them, my mantra is, your intellectual ability, your talent will get you there, but your integrity will keep you there, because
Mhm.
really integrity means you stand behind what you make and you're proud of them, and really it's something that is not easy to achieve, but as you get older, it means a lot to a lot of people.
That's right. And sometimes people are like they don't want to pursue things because they are scared of failure, of failing. But failures are like preparations. As they say, setbacks are setups. So if we don't experience, as you said earlier, Danny, right? Failures actually are part of our success, because if we don't fail, how are we going to learn?
I
Yeah,
failed
it's
many.
yeah.
I failed in so many. People have no idea. They see me right now like this, but my wife would probably attest to that. Many times, even in business ventures. But you know what? Like I said, I'm very resilient and has been guiding, and really looking at the Benjamin. $100 in my pocket. I got nothing to lose, man. Like, I'm willing to go back to where I started. Right.
Hmm.
That's always what I have in mind. I mean, seriously, I came here with only $100 in my pocket, and that's
Wow, wow.
I just have to learn to really survive, and also with the support of the church and a lot of people that I was able to be here. But it's a lot of hard work. Can you imagine working
Mhm.
full time, going to graduate school, and raising families? I remember I was doing homework with my two girls, you know, on the night and during the weekends. So I paid my dues. I volunteered for the local filmmaking production here in Dallas, just to be able to learn the process. It's not
Wow.
easy, but it's the old classic formula of hard work and dedication. Really, like you said, to me, failure is just a very temporary state where basically the most valuable lessons are learned.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And then even Thomas Edison himself, right? It made him, I think, 10,000 times before he actually made the perfect bulb. And the way he puts it is like the past failures, it's like he took it as 9,000 plus times of ways to create something. It's
Yeah.
not actually a failure, it's a process, it's a procedure. Like when you're trying to create something, you're not going to perfect it the very first time you make it. So it's not failure, but it's learning many different ways on how to create a thing.
Well,
And that's, yeah.
I don't think he failed, because to me, failure is when you quit.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
he didn't fail because he kept
Yeah.
going. But can
That's
you imagine if he quit, then there's no bulb.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
why it's not failure, but it's just multiple ways of getting into the perfect product, right?
Yeah.
On the creation. We have more comments. Ruby Vergara, good evening. Watching from Philippines. God bless your show. Thank you so much,
Really?
Ruby. And then Perla Penular, watching from Korea. Oh my gosh. We
Yes, I
have
was just with Perla last month. She toured us in Seoul.
Wow, we have a viewer from Korea. I'm so excited. Yes, now let's talk about your upcoming projects. I know you have something that's also coming up. So tell us about it so we get people excited. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. I don't know where to begin, but my phone is full of notes of the stories that I wanted to tell, the people that I want to highlight. And I had so much content that I remember I read one book where if you don't make this happen, all these stories that you wrote in your deathbed, they're gonna come and accuse you why you didn't bring them to life.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of like uh, stressed a little bit because how can I make this all happen? You have a beautiful story that you shared with me, and a lot of
Mhm.
people, and that's really what Carpe Diem is to really share the stories of everyday people in a context of a motion picture. So we have one that is really beautiful. It's a coming of age inspirational drama. We can't really say yet, but we're gonna highlight another beautiful parts of the country of the Philippines because I feel like that's one of my advocacies right now. I feel like that's my calling. If nobody will do, you know, why not me? If not now, when? And really the other one is another story that it bothers me growing up in a small barrio, right? And it's a supernatural horror, very religious, very Catholic. And
Mhm.
all of those, abangan nyo po. They will, we will announce them very, very soon, and you will be a part of those contents. And I'm
Yeah.
will be really be happy that we can highlight our culture.
Yeah. So how do people like how can they become part of your future projects if there's a way for them to be part?
Yeah, there's many ways actually. First is if you believe what you've seen. I always say the proof is in the pudding. People who
Mhm.
saw the movies and my content, they really loved it. And I can't do it alone. I have so many contents to tell. So just reach out to me, the Aguilar at carpedianpictures.com, if you want to be a part of it in many different capacities. Of course, we need producers, we need executive producers, associate producers, we need donors and sponsors. We need those. If
Mhm.
you're into being a part of my project, you're always welcome. I always like to collaborate because you know what? Making a movie is not easy. Otherwise, everybody will be doing it.
That's
Take
right.
now, it took 1 year from 2 years from concept to release actually, but we
Mhm.
did it. We have a really good track record. We made about 10 movies in 6 years, and that's not easy. But I think, like you said, MJ, if you're passionate about what you do, you don't really see that. That's
Mhm.
your power, that's your energy that actually energize. I can't wait to go back in a saddle and directing and producing again. So, yes,
Wow.
abangan niyo po. You will be a part of those. Just reach out and see what we can do to for you to be a part of it. It's exciting.
Oh yes, I know. I'm excited. I want to be part of it. I want to be part of any of your films. I'm just kidding, and it's not a joke. But if I could be part of it, I'm trying my best. I'm trying. I'm very passionate about it too because I may not be a filmmaker, but I believe in storytelling. Because I believe that, like my story, Danny's story, your story, every story counts. You, as I said earlier, you never know who are who's going to be blessed by your story. So if you have something beautiful to share, don't be afraid to share. Go out there, be authentic, just show your true self, and people will appreciate you more if you want to share and inspire other people. So Danny, what is the biggest lesson that you have learned for the past, we're the same age. So for the past 50 some years, I'm not going to say some years of our life, what is the biggest lesson and inspiration that you can give our viewers?
Yeah, that's interesting. Yesterday was my 53rd birthday.
Oh,
And
Manong. Okay. I'm
yeah,
almost there too. Okay.
yeah, and actually posted in on my social media account lessons I learned at 53. And to me it's again it's a journey in
Mhm.
life. I think finding my passion was really the biggest that really resonates with me, and like how come I didn't do that early on. So that's why it's so important, like young people, ask those questions, what you're good at, you know w- and how can you make money out of that. It's really start from your talent and what people tell you about you. That's really important. And then actually at 53, we're not going to be young forever, so let's do what makes us happy every day.
Mhm.
And the biggest also is the gratefulness. I think if you have a heart that's filled with gratefulness every single day, you're not going to see anything negative in life. You just keep moving. there's gonna be a lot of people who are gonna pull you down, but it's part of life. Really, the fact that we're really talking about you and and doing this and that, you mean you're relevant, right? So
Yes.
I really, and then the biggest, of course, is carpe diem.
Mhm.
We need to really think about every day when we go to bed, which is I do that. I do meditation every single day, and really think about, did I grow today? Did I learn
Mhm.
something today? What are the lessons that make me grow today daily? And then I write three most grateful for that I did that day, that brought me that day. So really the heart of gratefulness and living and seizing the day. I think to me those are the really biggest lesson. And mostly life to me, when I was growing up and very, very driven in the corporate world, I have a definition of success is different now. Success to me is a balance.
Mhm.
Really, family is very important. Your faith, your community, but also your passion, and of course, your health. So those are the kind of thing that really resonates with me today.
Wow.
And the
Very,
goal of
yeah.
really just you know doing what you love to do, but also helping your community and where you came from.
Wow, very profound. But before, I want to say a little bit too. Happy birthday, Danny. Yeah, happy birthday. And I'm going to be turning 53. I'm going to be turning 53 also in a few months. But yeah,
Oh,
right. Yes, living the day and being intentional to be the best that we can be every day of our life, right? We gotta, when we wake up in the morning, just like you, I've been doing some routines. I'm always very grateful. And I know some people have heard a little bit of my story too, but I just want to share one thing. We all grew up at some point or at many points in our lives. We have some pain, right? Maybe pain from poverty, pain from being outcast, pain from illness, any type of pain. We all grow up in pain. But that doesn't stop us from I want you to take note of this. For me, pain, P is purpose, right? From your pain, you can live a purposeful, driven life. A is for aspiration. Because of your pain, you aspire to be better. You aspire for bigger things. You aspire, for your family, not just for yourself. And your aspiration provides you or gives you inspiration, right? And then the N is it gives you a non negotiable dream. Yes. So turn your pains into purpose, aspiration, inspiration, and your non negotiable dream and live your dream. That's the most important. We have to really just go after our dream. And that's what Danny has exemplified with his life. And that's what I'm trying also to do in my life. And I know we have only a minute left, but we just want to see who's gonna be our winner. Let's do our will name before we say bye. Let's see who's winning our special prize tonight. Oh, wow. Congratulations, Paul. Tita Delia Ligot from Posorubio, Pangasinan. You won a special prize. We will contact you on how we can or you can get your prize. But anyway, Danny, I really, really appreciate you. You have been a true inspiration for me, for our viewers. And please watch out for Danny's movies and be part of Carpe Diem. You already saw his information. If you're interested, just contact him. Let's give the information again. I think Danny,
D Aguilar,
yeah, D. Aguilar at Carpe Diem
pictures.com.
pictures.com. Yes, if you're interested for in any capacity that you want to be part of Carpe Diem Pictures, just contact Danny. And thank you so much, Danny. God bless you. And on your way to more success and more films. And we hope to collaborate with you and we would love to be part of your your journey. And to all our viewers tonight, thank you again for joining us. Please join us again on Monday for another exciting episode. So good night, everyone. Just watch out again. Be bold. Why not? Bye. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.